Obama recently made a headline statement in Japan at the G7 summit regarding world leaders' bafflement with Trump. But Trump is not a new type of politician. Yes, his background isn't in politics, but in reality TV for the most part. Yes, he looks like a discarded leather bag. Yes, his own party still has issues backing him, but Trump's statements are mere reflections of the American populace, and his policy positions that he consistently goes back and forth on are no different than the others in the Republican Party, when it fits the bill.
So if Caitlyn Jenner were to walk into Trump Tower and want to use the bathroom, you would be fine with her using any bathroom she chooses?
That is correct.
Well, the party generally believes that whatever you're born, that's the bathroom you use.
Well, what about you?
I say let the states decide.
But aside from his similar rhetoric and style to American politicians, Trump's vision or lack thereof at most points is almost identical to what passes for a vision coming from a number of other prominent world leaders. One similarity is that Trump's campaign is almost entirely free of policy. His appeal rests primarily on the cult of personality he's created, with major assistance, mostly from the ass-kissing media, that is. And his supporters follow him for his charisma, much like we follow the Kardashians. With Trump, the messenger is also the message. He doesn't rely on a team of handlers telling him what to say, and he writes all of his own speeches, or composes them off the cuff half the time. While this may seem odd for an American politician, many foreign leaders like Saddam Hussein, Muammar Gaddafi, or even Turkey's current president Recep Tayyip Erdogan have risen to power on the strength of a similarly individualistic appeal. And in his self-written speeches and tweets, Trump channels one consistent sentiment: anger. He taps into the feelings shared by many disaffected, racist, and homophobic Americans that Obama and his cadre of intellectual elites have captured the government, and with it, the culture. Trump rails against this trend and claims he will make the kind of changes that this marginalized group of angry Americans want on the issues they care about, and not on the issues that matter to the liberal media like Black Lives Matter and transgender rights. This is what they think, and not me. Erdogan launched his career on a similar tide of anti-elitism back in 2002. He also leveraged conservative religious values to gain support among rural, poorly educated Turks who felt ignored and abandoned by the existing westernized elite power structure. Turkey since then has only made headlines for frequent human rights abuses and a political shift that tilted a once thriving democracy towards totalitarianism. And Trump's anger is infused with more than a mere whiff of nativism. His anti-Muslim and anti-immigration sentiments are mirrored by the views of the rising right in Europe. The migrant crisis has played a large part in this increasing tension, with 1.3 million people seeking asylum in the EU, and it's caused a hostile backlash across Europe. Yet these same leaders seem surprised about Trump's success here in the US. And finally, Trump has benefited significantly from the economic downturn. In Europe, the Eurozone crisis has led to the rise of the right wing. And while the American economy is growing, albeit slowly, income disparity persists. As 538 mentions, the state of the American economy is most apparent in income stagnation. In 2004, the annual real median household income was around $55,000. 10 years later, it had dropped to roughly $53,000. This economic landscape has left America ripe for a political revolution. Unfortunately, due to our lizard brains and our inability to look away from the shiny, bright object that is Donald Trump, he's been able to capitalize on these conditions to become the weird, tiny-handed voice of this revolution. So I guess what I'm saying is, I'm honestly surprised that an intelligent man like Obama can talk about Trump as a minor oddity and not the threat to democracy he truly represents. World leaders shouldn't be surprised by Trump. They should be terrified and realize that when they look at Trump, they're really looking into the mirror, but with like a really ugly red Make America Great Again trucker hat filter.